Hey guys, it's Mr. Hester, your APES teacher, and I just want to make this video to kind of give us some structure and perspective on what we did this week, first week back at school, and kind of give you a sneak peek as to what's coming up um, down the pike the next couple of weeks. We did so much stuff I had to write it down because I didn't want to forget anything. So thing one, what do we do? We practice on Zoom. We practice using the chat for me to drop stuff to you and using the chat to communicate back with me. Plus we use Pear Deck. That's a good way to interact, give your opinion, do some social emotional check-ins, but also for me to like to gauge where you're at on content as well. And we practice doing a split screen on that. Or some people use their phones for Pear Deck. Cool. Whatever works for you. Um, we also practice doing breakout rooms. So I put you in breakout rooms. Sometimes we found a way for you to choose your breakout room. That way you can work with the squad instead of a bunch of randos. We also practice in those breakout rooms sharing screens. I'm keeping that feature on Zoom for you guys because what is the point of like doing work sometimes if the only eyes that are going to see it is the teacher's eyes? Let me show what I'm working on with my friends. And then also we practice collaborating with each other. We're in breakout room number 4 where we are working on slide number 4. Next week I'll talk about jam boards. Same. So we did all that this week. Plus you now got that digital notebook. I can't hand out papers to you, but you can open it, copy and paste it, and put it in your digital notebook, and now you have it. Again, if you're not feeling super confident with it, that's okay. We're building up those muscles. Um, Also, we practice doing an exit ticket. So doing a Google form on the Google Classroom is a way to check in and me to check your understanding and then you to see how you're doing compared to your classmates. So we did all that this week. We talked about is do nothing climate policy technically racist policy. That's kind of crazy. But we also shined a light on some good environmental news that's going around. So really, really cool stuff we did this week. I hope you're proud of yourself. Next week, we are starting into experimental design. That's control group, experimental group, dependent variable, independent variable. We've always talked about that every year. How come I can't get it? We'll get it. Because we're also going to practice using it. So next week, we are doing a soil experiment. I do this the second week of school just about every year because normally Earth systems is our first unit. I'm switching it around because of COVID. So this year, human populations will be our first unit. But next week, you're going to play in the dirt with your friends. Oop, can't say the D word, soil. You're going to play in the soil with your friends. You're going to set up an experiment, run that experiment, get your results, and then you're going to put it into the scientific lab report, and that's going to be a quiz grade due the next week. So that's what you're doing next week. You're gonna remember about the experimental design, and you're going to play in the soil with your friends on the Zoom and try and set up an experiment. How can I measure the flow rate of water through soil? I can't do that. Oh yes, I can. If I just take like 2 of these guys, maybe a third, you'll get there. Finally, after next week, we're going to start really in earnest on the environmental science curriculum map that we're on, starting with populations. We'll talk about human populations, how I can predict changes in countries, and then we'll go into animal populations, and we'll talk about how animal populations distribute themselves and how they change. So that's just kind of what we'll be doing the next couple weeks. The reason why I'm doing populations first is I was hoping that maybe we'll do populations and then we'll do Earth system stuff because maybe in a couple months we'll be back at school and we can be doing those labs. I don't know when we'll come back to school. The first day of school, there are 7,000 new COVID cases in Texas. Compare that to May, where there's like less than 1,000 a day. So whenever it's safe, we'll come back and we'll do more hands-on stuff. But until then, I'm proud of you. I hope you're proud of yourself. Good job with all those tools today. Next week we'll do a home experiment with our friends, and the week after that we'll start learning about populations. Cool. So that's it for me. I love you guys. Stay safe. Stay home. Keep those masks on. Socially distance. And I'll see you later. Boop.